quads. I've charged every single LiPo in the house except for this one. This is the bench LiPo today. Because I'm on the table working, fixing quads. And I got a quad that I just built that I need to do some more wiring to the receiver. Or maybe I'll just beta fly it and fly it without the camera for today. Just to see that it is flying properly. That's probably what I'll do. I don't feel like soldering or thinking about a bunch of wiring shit today. So I'll probably just do the beta flight, tune bids and whatnot, and do my first test hover. Also, I've got this thing, which came as a bind and fly. Little did I know, it had clean flight installed, and I don't really never have any experience with clean flight, and so I flashed it to beta flight, and now it's got beta flight on there, and so now the receiver's not working. Don't get me wrong, it's probably the inverted, uninverted issue. That would be my guess as to why it's not working. I thought maybe I had it in D8 mode or it was D16. It's D16 mode. I think this is an XSR. Normally I use RXSRs or XM pluses nowadays. But this is from 2016, and I think this is a funny wiring for the XSR. Um, and by funny wiring, I mean when you replace a receiver, since they've routed the bind plug, the bind button over here, instead of on top of the receiver where it normally is, if you replace a receiver, you gotta do all this wiring with the antennas, and then you gotta run that wire from the bind button on your receiver to the bind button on the PCB. And it looks like it's just wired to the feet where the solder paste put the component on the PCB. It looks like it's that simple. But first I'm going to try to use the one that's installed. Maybe this one works. Maybe I can get this one to work.
Like I'm 17 years old, I don't want to be in this.
Because I don't have a spare receiver today. I'm short like 2 receivers actually because I'm building a quad over there and it's a top quality, top speed. It's a top flight race drone, and it's got a Titan stack in there. It's got the Sam Gook 2700 kV motors, so I'm shooting for just blowing this bitch up, or maybe I'll sell it. I think I might sell it. Because really, with the 6S capable ESC in there, and those 2700 kV motors, you know, and I've flown a 2600 kV motor quad on 6S, and been very disappointed, to be honest. Well, this was the Furry Bee 215 Pro, right? And I sold that because I was very disappointed in the way I flew it. It's not such a bad quad, but it wasn't. I don't know, it accelerated faster than I was used to, for one thing, and the camera wasn't very good. So there's that. But I crashed it and I rebuilt it, um, and flew it on 4S only. So there's that. Maybe the higher KV motors I will keep on 4S and not even try 6S. So But I mean, the other one is the Batman HDLRC Batman, and it is 6S capable. So I've got my 6S batteries ready. I got my 6S batteries ready. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this fucking naked chick in this movie. I'm done charging everything now. Charge every battery in the house. Anyway, charge it back in there before I go anywhere. Because I roll like with the full charging capability, right? But when I roll, I bring my car with me, which is my 2017 Toyota Corolla. I love it to death. Uh, sure, there are better cars out there, but this one is just my speed. It's not too fast, so I don't get a bunch of speeding tickets, and it gets pretty good gas mileage. Not as good as it should, but in the mid 30s, maybe high 30 gallons per mile. I mean, 30 miles per gallon, not gallons per mile. Um, so yeah.
Jeez, boys, don't come in. I'm naked.
I'm putting this on the big screen over there so I can turn my ass around and watch it. Um, so I'm gonna test this out. Try to bind the receiver that's in there first. I actually like this, and because it comes in a little box, I really want to use this. You know what I mean? Because my thing is, I'm traveling. This would be a nice drone to leave in the car forever. Never take it out. Just leave it in the car. So whenever I'm in a traffic jam, put this motherfucker on the roof. Like I used to do that with my DJI Spark, but since I have rebelled against the powers that be, I'm not trying to have another quad that has a phone home shit going. I want my own quad. And now that these receivers on these race quads are good enough that you can go 1,500 feet just like you can with the Spark. The fuck do I need a Spark for? And you can put a 1080p or 4K camera on one of these and stabilize it for you. What the fuck do I need a Spark for? I know how to find my way home from those distances we're talking. A couple kilometers away. I don't really need the return home feature. And I goddamn sure don't need that fucking DJI software. I fucking despise that shit. DJI Go 4. Fucking hate that shit, man. How many times has my DJI software crashed mid mission, mid flight? And shit happens on a regular basis sometimes until they bring a software update, a firmware update. So yeah, I don't hate DJI, and I know they're coming out with the Mavic Pro 2 in August, and I probably will buy that because I did have my first drone gig, I guess you would say. I was a volunteer. Don't worry, I didn't get a fucking dime. Not a dime. This was not a professional gig. This was a volunteer event. And there were many other volunteers there. It was the Richmond Police Department and the Lip Sync Challenge. So the volunteers included like citizens, police officer trainees, and people like myself who were taking pictures. So yeah, we did a great job. Looking at the final result compared to the other precincts, or not precincts, the other police departments. I feel like RPD won hands down. They hired Fable Branding and Richie McDonald to do the production, and you know those guys brought what they bring to the table, and the other PDs didn't do that. I don't think they hired a branding company, and if they did hire professional production, it's hard to tell that they didn't just do it themselves because it looks okay, but more what they did was kind of a one take thing, not much editing, very simple lip syncing with the music playing live in the room. That is not what we did. You know, we did a music video. I've been in production most of my life, videos and different things, um, you know, whatever, from different angles. I mean, I've been everything from security guard to a musician in the video to the person shooting the video. So I know when they upped the game. This was definitely they definitely put more into the RPD video than any of the other videos that I've seen. So on that alone, the professional, the raised production values, I think that they should win. But it was just a killer result though. That's the real reason they should win. You just watch the fucking video, and you know, not only did they put more script writing and time into it, the end result is just plain better. So I hope they win, but it's it's kind of politics and Facebook and YouTube, and it is what it is. I mean, there's another PD down the road that from a city that has more people, more larger population. I think it went off that alone. But Richmond is definitely a special city, especially for a mid-sized city. Like it's not special in terms of population. You kind of have to come here to see for yourself. But, I definitely hope we win that. Not just because I was involved with it. I honestly think objectively it is head and shoulders above the rest. So, anyways, finishing off the first build that I started, which is the Titan stack with an R. Charlens VX30 VTX and a Foxeer microcam with the Sam Gook Way 2700 motors.
What makes you think I would live?
So, looking forward to getting that one straight. I'm not sure how to wire the VTX. I thought, I use a different harness. I probably shouldn't have done that. I hope I didn't blow the thing out, but I'd be willing to buy another VTX if I did. The flight controller and the ESCs are working. There's no shorts or anything. I never understood how so many builders get so many shorts. I mean, first of all, there's a multimeter over there. I don't even fucking use that shit, right? But if I had any question, I would have used it. But I'm the guy who soldered it. Can't you tell if there's a fucking short or not from looking at the motherfucker? I can. And if there's any question about it, if there's any part of the ESC, any part of the metal that I can't see, I'll use a multimeter, or and if those pop stoppers don't work either. Just saying. I've never blown anything up that I didn't blow up because I didn't follow my common sense procedure. It's not that hard, guys. But if you put yourself out there too early, it is hard. I don't do that either. So I work myself up to it, build up my skills, educate myself, and then I try it. It would have been a horrible idea had I started out in this hobby, and instead of buying binding flies and learning how to fly, I learned how to do repairs, small repairs first. Had I started out trying to do builds first, then I imagine I would have run into similar problems. But that doesn't make any sense to me. So I started out with the binding flies and the tiny whoops mainly. I had built countless tiny whoops before I moved up to building something bigger. And the next thing I built was, I don't know, probably 80 millimeter or some shit. And then I built it up to building a 3 inch finally after 6 months in the hobby. And the 3 inches were successful. I've been building 3 inches for a while now. I just sold 3 of my builds in day before yesterday. 3 of my 3 inch builds, and I'm proud of the way they function. And they're very good. I put them up against anything in the similar price category of under $100 quadcopter, or around $100. You know, the model that it came off of cost $110 on sale at the Banggood or Gearbest, right? $110. You can might be get it for $100, and I got one of those for like $80. So you can get it for a good price, but I try to sell mine for $75. Um, and they're built out of all kinds of parts that I have laying around here. But the frame is the VX140, and I try to use the same parts. Sometimes I use better parts. Like one of the ones I just sold had an RXSR receiver in it instead of an XM, and it had a Runcam Micro Swift in it instead of a clone cam. And I didn't charge any more for that. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. Shit, the Runcam itself is almost $50. I only charged $75 for the thing. But like I said, all of it is well used. One of them, even talking about the durability of these things, one of them got run over by an SUV, and it was destroyed. But I was able to take stack, camera, couple of arms, maybe a motor. You know, I was able to take a bunch of parts, and they were in pristine condition because it only got ran over in the back. So the parts in the back, all those motors, all that had to be thrown out. But anything that was in pristine condition, I reused it. And man, yeah, it's worth it for me. It's worth it for people who buy it. It's just a good way to recycle your stuff. And I would honestly say maybe that's my place in this thing, because I like reflying stuff. Like this is a 2016 quad here, and I'm working on it, fixing it up, bringing it up to date with Betaflight, and putting a new receiver in it and fixing any wiring issues and stuff. I like to do that kind of thing. So, you know, if you have any quads you need to get fixed, if you don't mind paying shipping and paying for the parts, right now I'll do it for free. Now, eventually, I'm looking towards building a quad business. I would have liked to rent that Blockbuster Video down the street, the old building, to open a quad shop, but maybe that's not the way to do it. Maybe brick and mortar is not the way to go, and what I need to do is just build up clients online like I did with my other business, which was RVA Live Sound. This is a live sound company that I built up just strictly on the internet, and over the last 6 or 7 years. And so now I'm moving on to this venture, and I'm still gonna do live sound, but this is great. I love this shit. I don't even have to leave the house to do this. There's a lot of traveling involved with live sound. You have to go to wherever the gig is at. So I can sit here and fix 10 quads in a day. I'd rather do that. Chill out and watch movies, eat food, drink beers, fly quads, and I mean, shit, I usually spend about 8 hours in every 24-hour period fixing quads. I can't do that forever because I don't sleep, and that's probably not good. So, but yeah, today we're gonna try to get this thing in the air. This thing is so old it has dip switches in it, but it looks super cool though, man. Like compared to a modern build, this is foreign almost. You see, I mean, you see the ESCs, you see the gyro, but essentially the rest of the flight controller and caps and things are just spread out all over this piece PDB, this power distribution unit. Um, and being as old as it is, it's pretty good. I wonder if I could put a new gyro in here and a new chipset in here. But, you know, looking at it, it's like, man, I'd have to be a master to do that because I have to lift. Oh, that's the RSSI chips right there. I have to lift components off the board, primary components like the flight controller, processor, and memory. I'd have to lift all that stuff off here and replace it. I'm not sure if I'm up to the task, but everything looks really good. Pretty uniform. Love that song. And that's kind of that's one of my customers sending me a text or whatever. That's my game. My goal is to sell them for around $75 new, or around $100 honestly, because the receiver would be another, expense. And with these $3 motors, so putting the motors right around $15 a set, and this $40 stack, so that's 40, 55, and then we gotta add a camera. This I can get a camera for $10. It'd be 65, and a receiver. I can get a receiver for $10. It'd be 75. But you gotta cut these certain corners. So I'm thinking it might be better to, instead of cutting, and I get the frames for $12. So already that's $87. So, you know. But there's always deals on Banggood. If I really look and shop around, I can get the stack for cheaper. Or get one of the Eachine stacks that already has the VTX included in the stack. You gotta find ways to save money. But I think those $3 motors are here to stay. That's not a sale price. That's just a regular price. So I'm thinking I will certainly be able to sell 3-inch quads for right around $100 and still make. I ain't gonna be making much money. I would like to make $25 a quad. I don't think that's asking too much. I mean, I gotta live too. Think of how much work I'll have to do if I make less than $25 off of each sale. Already I'd have to sell more than I sold the day before yesterday, which, I sold 4. I sold 4 in one day, so every day I'd have to sell 4 quads, or 8 on one day, and, that's a lot. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. I feel like for a short period of time, I can probably do that. But, I still have other business ventures that I'm doing on Locksmith and the live sound thing. So I got to keep all these things going, and I fix computers. But I don't have any clients right now because I let that go when I started the live sound. I really don't feel like doing this right now. I'm just watching this movie and waiting for my dad to get back here. Tacos. Because I'm hungry as shit. Maybe I just have the munchies. Maybe I'll just get a snack or something and knock it down for a little while. Roll a joint. Just a small joint. I want to fly. It's not raining right now. But I have the conformal coating over here, and I have not put it on any of my builds yet. I'm thinking it's gonna cause. Okay, I didn't put it on the Frog Light build because, as you can see, it is. What is it move? Frog Light build doesn't. There's no space. This is, man. This is such an awesome build. There's like no space in there. You see, this is a compact, tight build here. So I don't want to add heat. You know, adding conformal coating might cause the VTX to overheat. Might cause the ESCs to overheat and reset, and any of that would be real bad. But we got good solders. The thing runs good when I plug a battery into it. But the VTX is not really. The receiver's working. It's bound. So today I'm probably just going to do the beta flight, set up with the modes in there and PID tune, and keep it standard and move on from there. But as you can see, man, I mean, it would be a real cowboy thing to do, to be adding heat in a build that is just so lacking in space, man. I mean, I was barely able to get this to fit in here at all. And I really don't think that I'll be able to make it any worse. No tighter, nothing. This is it. You know what I mean? Anything else I add to this, and it's going to be too heavy and too hot. We're just going to leave this as it is right here. And like I said, I want to get this VTX working, and if I have blown it, I would gladly replace it, even though it's $20, $30, because it's worth it. It fits. This is the piece for the job, and I can even see everything I need to see, and I can even reach the button to change the band and the channel. I mean, this is ideal. The antennas have got a place to mount the zip ties and heat shrink. This is perfect. The things are on there. The battery lead is perfectly how I want it. Everything is perfect with this. So, this is incredible. I wish they fucking build one like this, the company, and sell one like this. This is what we want right here. Okay. You see the specs, you see what the frame looks like. Yes. This is what we want right here. Powerful, adjustable 6S, replaceable arms, strong 4mm arms. This is what we want right here. Efficient, fast build. And the price, let's add it up. We paid $110 for the stack. We paid $25 for the frame, let's just say. So that's $110 for the frame, for the stack. 25 for the frame, that's $135. And we have the motors, and they are $40. So that's 175. Then we gotta add the VTX. That was $30. That's $200. And the camera, it's like 20. So $225 thereabouts in parts. I got the battery strap for free, and I got the battery lead with the XT60 for free. I got the wire harnesses and all the hardware for free. Just by picking it up out of my desk here. So, 200 and something. Not bad, considering what they sell the other ones for. You can get an Elliot or a Hawk 5 or a Batman for anywhere from $200 to $350. It's not to the level of America or Norris or even an Armatan as far as price. But I'll bet you, as far as top speed and handling, it's as good as any of those, I'm sure. It's not too heavy. It's a little heavier than I'd like, but you know, it's about the same weight, or a little heavier than the HGL RC Batman. We've got Jim Van props to put on there. And again, as I said, I just don't feel like doing this right now. I feel like flying, and I can't do that. And so I'm going to do this today. At least I'll accomplish that. Get this bird in the air. So I don't understand why it doesn't have a wire going to the RSSI. It's only got, you know, this wire's cut off. There's 2 wires cut off, and one of them's not even 10. I would think that's an XSR. I like the way the antennas are on there. It looks like it's just a simple one-piece solder. But yeah, this will fit in there. This is one that was meant to use just in case I have to use this XM receiver. But I need to depin this down. So you see why I just don't feel like doing this right now. But I will get to this today because I do want to have that flying today. And where's my dad with the tacos? It's dog shit. His dad likes to cook. He's good at it. Sometimes he goes to the recipe thing, and man, he'll make some shit. It's like, how the hell did you do that, man? I'm not good at that. I mean, I'm talking about really involved recipes. I can cook the basic stuff. I spilled so much weed. It's got all kinds of poisonous shit on there. If it falls on this blue thing, it's gone. I can't really see what's under the camera. CMOS 700 TV1 camera. The standard pinout easily could be replaced, but I don't see where the pads are, where it lands. So I'm not sure if it's a 3-pin cable or soldered. Yeah. Oh, no, it's a cable. So the camera is plug and play too. I'm beginning to like this thing more and more and seeing how it's not really obsolete. I don't know why it came into the fight. It's not dumb, really. Oh shit. This is a crazy little movie. That'd be nice. Hopefully my friend comes over tonight. She was supposed to come over last night, but something happened with her son and she couldn't make it. Maybe tonight. Oh, what the fuck? Whoa. Still 38 minutes. I'll be back when I actually decide to do something.